This fire is almost out. The flames seem to be growing bigger.
Look, the fire's getting bigger. It's extremely bright.
My God, it turned into this in just a short time.
The video shows a textile factory engulfed in thick smoke, with black smoke covering tens of meters above. The sky burned from daytime into the night. Flames were flickering continuously in the dark sky. According to the commercial news, the factory on fire is Jinyu Textile Co Limited, located in Wangchang Industrial Park, Pingshan Town. Multiple online reports and eyewitnesses state that at 11 a.m. on May 20th, a young male worker at Jinyu Textile attacked a finance staff member closely related to the factory owner. After saying, "We're all gonna die anyway," he set fire to the factory. Insiders say the worker had previously been denied resignation and had 800 yuan deducted from his wages without cause. After several failed attempts to demand payment, he lost control and chose this extreme way to protest. Some reports also indicate that the finance staff was a relative of the owner and acted arrogantly, worsening the conflict. An official at Yibin City government's duty office told Chinese media that the fire began around noon on May 20th and was quickly extinguished, but rekindled after some time. Guizhou radio station reported that on May 21st, the factory manager said multiple firefighting teams from different regions had arrived to support the site, but the situation remained complex and difficult to access. In the early hours of May 22nd, the Pingshan County Police Station in Yibin issued a police report confirming an arson case on May 20th. The suspect is a 27-year-old named Wen. Wen was detained after the incident. The presence of large amounts of cotton textiles in the workshop made firefighting challenging. This incident has sparked widespread discussion on mainland Chinese online platforms. He burned down a factory over 800 yuan. The textile factory worker demanded 800 yuan, which led to thick smoke and a fire not yet extinguished. The boss will suffer a big loss. The second and third workshops were burned. Only the first workshop was spared. This happened right across from my home. It wasn't for a month's wage, but a forced deduction of 800 yuan. The young man was born in 1998 and is 27 years old. More than 80 fire trucks were dispatched from Chengdu and Mianyang, yet they still couldn't put it out. The worker poured gasoline on the fabric inside the workshop, then ignited it. An arson is man-made. Insurance won't pay. Arson should be severely punished. The finance staff and the boss are basically the same. Whether to pay or not depends on the boss. The boss was present at the scene and was likely taken away too. Many online users expressed support for the worker demanding unpaid wages. Comments include, 800 yuan can cover a child's living expenses for the month, but will hardly cover a single meal for the boss. Sometimes don't push the lower class too far. Once someone loses all vulnerabilities, they fear nothing. The comment section mostly supports the young man. It's the will of the people. This is the anger of the people, the anger of the workers. He symbolizes the fearless who has been awakened. The suspect, Wen, is affectionately called Brother 800 online, with many expressing willingness to crowdfund legal assistance. If the young man's family needs help, I'll join. We poor people should create a foundation to support those who fight for their rights, giving financial aid to their families. I will donate 100 yuan to hire a lawyer. Shanghai lawyer Zhang Qiyu commented that Wen's retaliation over 800 yuan caused property loss and social impact, reflecting an extreme act by someone from the lower class. From a broader perspective, he said, the revenge of the weak is detestable, but their fate is pitiable. They are victims of social injustice. The focus should be on establishing a fair and just social system to prevent anyone from becoming a potential victim. Meanwhile, the owner of Jinyu Textile has become the target of public criticism. Online users generally agree that while the incident involved extreme actions, its root cause lies in the exploitation, wage deductions, and harsh attitude of the company. One comment reads, "This is a lesson for all unscrupulous bosses." Others sarcastically note, the boss finally understands what it feels like to lose 800 yuan. Bosses are used to bullying workers. Now they get some punishment. What's wrong with society? The comments support arson, which should be condemned. Relevant departments and bosses should reflect. Don't treat the lower class as less than human. They might stop you from seeing tomorrow's sun. Some users point out that such labor disputes and difficulties in defending workers' rights are not isolated cases, but reflect ongoing oppression faced by workers.
工厂没了，就为了800块钱，导致几千万的厂。
The factory's gone, all because of 800 yuan. This young guy set fire to a factory worth tens of millions. He just doesn't trust anyone anymore. Maybe asking others for help won't work, so he fought for justice his own way. The fire burned for a whole day and night. I don't know if the boss regrets it now. A bold young man did what many wouldn't dare to do. But I don't recommend this kind of action. It ruined his whole future. I warn everyone, never bully honest people. Seriously, if you bully honest folks, you might not even get a chance to beg for mercy on your knees.
Some online users also express that life is very difficult for the lower class, or grassroots workers. 800 yuan may just be the cost of a bottle of alcohol to the boss, but it can represent much more for lower-income laborers. 800 yuan is not much, but when you have no money at all, it is life-saving money, enough for half a month's living expenses. Does anyone believe 800 yuan is my entire living cost? Another online commentator analyzed that this incident acted as a fuse. It has the ability to ignite widespread resonance and anger. The suffering of grassroots laborers has long been neglected, and life is a constant struggle. People appear to be waiting for a tipping point that triggers change. On May 13th, Guangxi-based lifestyle influencer Phantom reviewed online discussions about whether the suspect was a hero or a criminal. He also discussed issues of law and humanity. The conclusion was, the fire has burned through the pus of labor capital conflicts and reveals a serious issue. When 800 yuan becomes the last straw breaking human dignity, should we reflect on whether the entitlement of bosses and the desperation of workers lacked a bridge called empathy? May all anger find a rational outlet, may not have to be risked with life. In recent times, collective wage protests have erupted across multiple regions in China, involving construction workers, teachers, sanitation workers, and healthcare staff. On May 22nd, hundreds of workers at the Guireniao shoe factory in Fujian staged a strike protesting unpaid wages, wage deductions, unpaid social insurance, and the company's failure to sign labor contracts with workers. This video shows workers leaving their posts at night to gather and demand wages from the company. The company's founder, Lin Tianfu, began the business in the late 1980s as an original equipment manufacturer shoemaker in Jingjiang, Fujian. For more than 10 years, the business grew from a family workshop to a professional shoe factory. Once hailed as the national shoe king, Guireniao struggled for years and eventually faced decline. In March last year, the Shanghai Stock Exchange announced the termination of Guireniao's stock listing. Lin Tianfu experienced a rise from Quanzhou's richest man to becoming subject to consumption restrictions. On May 19th, workers from Jihong Energy Fengfeng Group mine installation team held a banner outside the mine entrance in Hebei to demand wages.
Taihang Mine wants its wages.
The video shows about a dozen workers holding a banner in front of a propaganda wall labeled Chinese Virtue. Several people in black clothing, suspected to be staff from the mine, filmed the event continuously. On May 18th, renovation workers in Baolong City, Guangdong Province, moved into the sales office after days of unpaid wages. We work in Baolong City. The renovation company does not pay us and is still working here. Look, this is the hard-earned money of us migrant workers that they've cheated.
We will sleep in the Baolong City sales office tonight.
In the video, some migrant workers sit on the ground with helpless expressions, while others argue with the renovation company. Another video shows workers and family members sitting up bedding on the sales office floor while police patrol the scene. From May 17th to 18th, Yunda delivery workers in Dongyang City, Zhejiang Province, went on strike for 2 days. The video shows workers gathered in the delivery warehouse shouting, "Pay us." Some directly went on strike, lying next to parcels. Radio Free Asia reported that on May 18th, a collective wage protest took place at a China Communications Construction Company project site in Hebei. Workers raised banners that protested long-term wage arrears. One worker revealed that since the Lunar New Year, the company repeatedly promised to pay, but repeatedly failed to do so. On May 19th, workers gathered in front of the project office demanding owed wages. Workers at Swift Horse Embroidery Factory in Haimen City, Jiangsu, visited both the factory and the boss's home for 2 consecutive days, but wages were still unpaid. The video shows hundreds of workers carrying banners as they marched to the employer's home and factory to demand unpaid wages. Police cars and officers also appeared on the scene. In Nanning City, Guangxi, 32 construction workers began camping and cooking meals outside Guangxi Transmission and Substation Construction Company. They said they were preparing for a long-term struggle due to unpaid wages. Teachers have also reported delayed payments and have joined protests. On May 20th, several contract teachers in Zhaozhuang City, Shandong Province, revealed that their salaries had been overdue for 6 months. One primary school teacher said, "Our monthly salary is only about 3,000 yuan, and for the past 6 months we've relied on borrowing to live." On the same day, a teacher in Shanxi posted on social media that the school demanded repayment of year-end bonuses issued since 2021, as well as some after-school service fees, causing discontent among teachers. Issues regarding salaries have also emerged in the sectors of medicine and public health. On social media, a nurse from a public hospital in Gansu reported a monthly salary of only 1,300 yuan. She claimed that she has performance bonuses that have been unpaid for 4 months, leading to financial hardship. A female sanitation worker in Jiangxi tearfully stated, "We start work at 5 a.m. and work more than 10 hours a day. I only earn 1,400 yuan a month. I never want to do this job again. It's too hard." Retired university professor Zhang from Guizhou commented, "In the past, wage disputes were mainly among migrant workers. Now teachers, doctors, and sanitation workers are involved. This shows that the CCP's stability structure is beginning to backfire." High local government debt and tightening central policies have severely affected grassroots financial operations. The most direct victims are frontline laborers and contract workers. Zhang said, "They're the most vulnerable group. Once they speak out, they're suppressed as troublemakers, but in reality, they only want to survive." State-owned enterprises have also seen wage arrears and labor rights disputes. On May 15th, laid-off workers from Heilongjiang Longmei Mining Holding Group held a rally at the municipal government to demand 3 months of unpaid minimum living allowances, social insurance, medical insurance, and housing funds.
Longmei
transferred us to other jobs, but has not paid us for our wages for 3 months. They also stopped providing medical insurance. Hospital bills are not reimbursed. Social insurance and housing funds are also not handled. The video shows many citizens demanding official explanations. After what appeared to be government officials arrived and urged the crowd to disperse, the people remain unconvinced.
Now, officially stamp the documents with a government seal and bring them out. The seal for the half-month arrears must be properly stamped. That leader stamped with a government seal.
Most wage protests involved marches and banner displays. Only the case of the Sichuan Jinyu Textile Factory involved extreme action through arson. Similar extreme incidents occurred earlier this year and last year. On February 17th, several Chongqing netizens reported a large fire at a factory in Jianbei District's industrial park. By 10 a.m., the fire had consumed part of the facility, and thick smoke continued rising. At 11:20 a.m., the Jianbei District Fire Rescue Bureau reported that the fire occurred at a warehouse located at 36 Port City Middle Road in the industrial park. The fire was extinguished with no casualties. The cause remained under investigation. Insiders revealed that the industrial park had wage arrears, and workers failing to obtain wages retaliated by arson. An employee of the nearby factory, Mr. Deng, said the fire was frightening and was only separated by a street from his company's dormitory. Deng stated that the fire involved warehouses of Chongqing Sanyi Plastics products and Chongqing Feilong plastic products. An employee from a nearby company said the fire area was large, and the warehouse was almost completely destroyed. The warehouse contained highly flammable plastic materials. Chongqing Sanyi Plastic Products was established in June 2005 and specializes in producing, processing, and selling rubber products, plastic products, and auto parts. At the end of last year, Zhongxi Technology in Yongkang City, Zhejiang Province, dismissed several employees without proper compensation, triggering labor disputes. Facing protests, the companies used various means to pressure workers to leave. On December 19th, workers set fire to the building to protest. Also late last year, a factory in Taikang City, Jiangsu Province, experienced a fire linked to ongoing labor disputes. Exploited workers sought help through various channels, but finding no resolution, resorted to arson as retaliation. In Dalian, Liaoning Province, a factory reportedly used force to expel workers demanding wages. The affected workers retaliated by setting fire to the factory. Among protesters, some successfully recovered owed wages, while others were detained by police for malicious wage claims. One netizen said he was owed over 300,000 yuan in unpaid wages. After demanding payment, he recovered his wages but was detained for 15 days. Another netizen reported being owed tens of thousands of yuan and was detained for 6 days after recovering his wages. A third sarcastically asked how many days he would be detained to recover unpaid wages totaling 1.7 million yuan. Social media commentator Mu Yang lamented that wage disputes and conflicts have emerged across China, with protesters learning from each other's methods. He speculated the movement may rapidly spread nationwide.